What's going on, nerds? Welcome back to Comic Book Nerd Nation, episode 139. I'm Fox2. We've got Topher.
I was gonna say something here, and then I forgot what it was because I got distracted by that Thanos head up on your cabinet. Is that new, or have you always had that?
It was new last
Maybe if you
week.
joined us last week.
Oh, well, I wasn't on here last week, so
My fiance bought it for me.
It looks like
It
Ned
is
Stark and Thanos had
super
something in
awesome.
common.
It's one of the plastic
the
like piggy bank things. Yeah.
Those things are sweet.
This thing is massive. I mean, look, it's literally the exact same size as my head. It's huge as hell. And it was only $30 for this, which is, in comparison to like other statues and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's really
I've got a Wolverine and a Spider-Man bust that are like the same ones,
Yeah.
and they look badass, and they were like $15-20.
They had Deadpool and Lady Deadpool there also. If you look over my other shoulder over here, I also picked up a Green Lantern.
That one's out off frame. Can't see it.
I will hold on. I'll grab that too. Even though for people that are watching, I'm doing show and tell twice in a row. Whatever. Fucking deal with it.
This is what I get for not watching last week's episode. That's pretty
Being
badass.
on it.
Yeah, pretty
like it.
cool. This one was even a little. I think this one was a little cheaper, closer to like the $20 price range. But they're really nice. I have a Hulk, also a Thor. There's a bunch of them now, but I had never seen the Thanos head anywhere. Not even at the comic book conventions that I've been to. So I saw that and I was just like, whoa, that's crazy. So. I would love to find one similar to it that is the glove, the Infinity Gauntlet.
The gauntlet.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen that one.
I know it
before, but they're
exists.
yeah,
That one's a little more expensive too, I think. But that would be a really cool addition to my collection to have, kind of sitting next to the Thanos head. Now that I've got that, and it kind of works with my Infinity Gauntlet comic and Thanos sketch. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm up my Infinity Gauntlet oven mitt.
That's cool. That's super
The
cool.
one is that the same one they recalled?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one that they recalled because it
But I'm
doesn't
not-
actually protect your hand.
But I'm
at
not sticking mine in the oven or touching hot trays with it.
all.
And we also have the whole effing Brian.
Yeah, and the whole effing Brian is here with us.
I
Sorry about
got
that.
this normal hand that doesn't store coins.
That was
Aw.
probably in
Boo,
139 episodes. That was probably the longest introduction. Probably even longer than when we had Neil Adams on.
Oh, that was my introduction. You guys have been talking for a hot minute.
Yeah.
I kind of got distracted.
Yeah, we did too. Clearly,
Saved the planet in my own head.
Yeah, we fucking got balls deep on some other stuff real quick.
Okay.
We're easily distracted.
Clearly.
Ooh, shiny.
Ooh, nice. Nerdy stuff. There is an absolute shit ton of news coming out of the San Diego Comic-Con right now, as I'm sure
And it's not even half over as of this recording.
Yeah. I'm sure anyone that's listening to this has heard quite a bit of the news or seen quite a bit of the news. So we're going to be going over some, for sure, not all of the news. Next week,
We'll save the rest of it for a day where we're like, so I got lint in my belly button.
well, next week we'll probably have some more San Diego Comic-Con news.
Other half.
And then I would say within the next 2 to 3 episodes, we'll probably be having Sean Forney on to discuss his experience at San Diego Comic-Con for his first time in Artist Alley.
Can we ask him about all the boobies he sees?
If you
Cosplay?
if you want that to be one of your questions, then by all means,
Sweet.
by all means, I'm sure he will answer you. But I know he was really looking forward to it and gearing up, and I've been watching his page on Facebook and his Twitter, and he's got a bunch of really cool exclusive stuff that he drew up for the San Diego Comic-Con. So I'm interested to hear how much different this experience was versus going as a fan. I know he's been quite a few times as just a guest, not as an artist. So we'll see how that differs. Gosh, I don't even know where to start. It's so overwhelming, the list of news. And Topher has he's back. Okay. Let's just jump right in. Walking Dead Season 7 trailer was released this week. Man, those guys know how to make a trailer. They really do. I don't even watch this show anymore. It kind of lost my interest some time ago, but the trailers are really, really exciting, and they're really, like, they get you excited for the show. I did have one major problem with this one, though.
There's no boobies?
Okay, so I have two problems then. No, the biggest problem that I have with this is that are they like getting so far gone with material and ideas that they now have a character named King Ezekiel that has a pet tiger?
No, that's part of the books.
It's from the comics.
Is it? Okay, I don't read the comics. Admittedly, I don't read the Walking Dead comics. Part of what appealed to me so much about, I know that this is a comic book based television show, but part of what I really liked about the Walking Dead show when I was watching the first, I don't even know how many seasons I watched, 3 or 4, was the realism aspect of it. It was nice. There's Wolverine. The realism aspect. Obviously, zombies aren't real, but the Spider-Man, the whole goddamn gang is coming in over here. The fact that they added, they presented it in a way that made it feel like it's something that could happen, that the possibility is there. But I think that this is traveling to the outer reaches of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, there are obviously people in this world that have pet tigers, but I don't know how many of them are just like having them sitting right by their chair all the time, chilling. Like, I don't know. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on the whole trailer?
I mean, it's whatever to me. But I can't remember why he has it trained. I don't remember if he would go to a zoo and feed it, and it just got a liking to him or something like that. I don't remember why, but whatever. It's one of those things where there's some things that are going to be a little far-fetched.
I agree with you to a certain extent. Like, when Fear the Walking Dead, the second series that they did, have you watched any of that at all?
I have not, but I've heard good things about it, actually.
I don't know if I like it quite as much as the original. Like, the characters haven't been as compelling so far. I haven't watched the second season of it yet. I'm like really behind. I haven't even gotten a chance to watch the second half of this most recent Walking Dead season because my cable provider fucked me over. But
shame.
Right?
Shame.
I did watch that. But
you did watch them fucking you over?
No, I watched Game of Thrones. Shame thing.
Okay.
But no, like, one of the things that I liked about Fear the Walking Dead was that since it was really close to the onset of the virus outbreak, like, it introduced a little bit more of that realism back, because like you said, like the original show, it's gone on so long that I still love it. I still like the show. I still watch it. I still think it's great, but it's lost that that feeling like this could be our world. It's now so totally a different world, a different universe than ours, that I don't have quite the same. I don't have quite the same shock when something bad happens, because it's like, yep, that's their world. They're fucked. Like with Fear the Walking Dead, it was interesting because you'd have like 15-20 minutes of like actual human interaction and like real world stuff, and then all of a sudden like a fucking like zombie comes around the corner. It was like, oh shit, like you got comfortable again, you know, like it was so close to your own experience in life, so close to actual existence, that you kind of got comfortable and forgot that, you know, oh shit, there's actually danger here.
Yeah.
And
Danger.
the suspense
Watch
level
yourself.
was maybe a little bit higher with Fear the Walking Dead there for a while, just because it was so much more identifiable.
Yeah, I think they lost some of the shock factor over time. That was I remember watching the very first episode of Walking Dead when Rick shoots the little girl in the head, the little girl zombie, and the shock factor, you see that for the first time and you're just like, "Holy shit, this is crazy." Like, can you imagine having to do that? Like, all these questions racing through your mind, and just like, just the like, for lack of a better term, the shock factor, that shock value is so off the charts that you're like, oh my god, I what's gonna happen next? Oh my gosh. And now it's just like, oh yeah, they're probably gonna drag some zombies around and they're gonna fucking cut some heads off. And
Well, and there you go. You know, on the other hand, it's kind of the natural progression of that world. Like,
Yes.
you have to go somewhere with it.
right.
You know, like you can't just keep doing, you know, you can't
Status
just keep
quo.
running around looking for shelter and cutting heads off zombies. And yeah, we know Daryl's going to shoot a crossbow at a zombie now. We know that, you know, Rick's going to like yell at Coral.
Cool.
You know, we know that there are certain things that are going to happen, but the show can't be all that, you know, like, and I don't even necessarily know if it's raising the stakes, because I don't like endless, you know, one-upsmanship and like, you know, like power bloat and all this stuff, you know, like things just getting constantly bigger and badder and harder, and, you know, but I like that they're finding new stories to tell in that
Yeah,
universe. And you know, post zombie apocalypse, you know, when people, I mean, we've seen, you know, in the news even recently, you know, the kind of depth of depravity that some human beings will go to, and people like that still exist in the world. Imagine if they no longer had a power structure around them to rein in, you know,
Yeah, to hold them back.
like the horrible people that they really were. Like, I can see people doing some of this shit, you know, and so, in a way, I mean, that's almost kind of sad, but, you know, at the same time, like, this stuff isn't really so far out of the realm of possibility. We're not talking about, you know, superpowers or, you know, people inventing, you know, like ridiculous technology stuff, you know, after the zombie apocalypse. We're talking about people just, you know, being monsters and with any lack of, you know, society around them. So, I mean, like, dude wants to take a pet tiger and terrorize people, you know, running away from zombies, then, you know, like that.
Good on you.
As detached as it is from our world, it
fits.
I'm buying it.
It's a whole
Yeah,
new
yeah.
world, a new fantastic tiger to be a pet of.
Yeah, that should be their new theme song, the new
Let's see
opening.
where to go next with
think
this. Let's talk about a technological advancement in the comic book industry.
Death Star?
Not exactly. Not quite that incredible. But Google announced this week a new app, or new feature is a better way of putting it. It's called Bubble Zoom. It's going to be used for reading comics on mobile devices. And what it does, I don't know why this is such a big advancement, because of the fact that some comic book reading apps already behave this way, but it will zoom into the speech bubbles with each click in order. So it's to kind of help facilitate easier reading of comic books on the mobile on mobile devices. I don't know that this is, I mean, it's great that they're making comic books more accessible to today's youth, because obviously that is the medium with which they're consuming the most entertainment, whether it's video games or video or whatever. It's on cell phones or tablets. So it's exciting that they're helping to bring one of our favorite forms of entertainment to that medium in a better format. But I really feel like I've seen this in the past. I mean, Brian, you brought this one to the table. Do you have a...
I mean, I never found a comic book reader that I liked for mobile or tablet. I mean, I haven't run into anything you're talking about, and we don't really know. I mean, if you've seen something quite like that, then maybe there's something different than Google's not explaining much. But hey, if they make something that makes reading comics on devices easier, I'm all for it because I think it's terrible so far.
Yeah, I agree. Topher, you do a good bit of reading on mobile device, don't you?
Yeah,
Porn.
this reminds me of something. Well, that too, but let me
I
wipe down
believe
my
they call it
my
erotic
screen.
fiction.
It's got to wipe down the
um,
screen.
Yeah.
mhm.
Huh.
um, Marvel Unlimited. That app has made some great strides in recent years. Um, I overall like they've got something they call smart panels, which is similar to that, where um, you can. Let me see here. Do I even? And the funny thing is, I turn it off. I don't like it. It's weird. Um, like it'll zoom into a panel. Let me turn the smart panel. Here we go. So
Maybe
In
it's
case
Google.
you're watching or listening and not watching, Topher is setting it up on his tablet to
Yeah,
kind of give us
maybe.
a
so
demonstration.
you get the comic page, and then like when you turn the page,
Civil War,
it'll show you like a panel at a
Control
time,
Room,
and
WTNB channel, whatever.
so like it'll show you panels, but you kind of, and then like if it's a big panel, it'll pan over, but somebody has to go through, and it like zooms in on the text bubbles, like on so you can see like right there, but you
6
don't even know
monkeys
like
running
who's really
around.
talking in that. Like, okay, now we see it's coming from a van, like it's just it's a
Yeah,
little
that's what I
different.
was talking about. I think that might even be the app that I saw it on. That it kind of shows it zooms in on the text bubble versus I don't know.
And for me, I kind of prefer just reading the whole page. It's one of the reasons why I bought a tablet. Like that's big enough for me that I can actually read it, and I like looking at the page layout. I mean, honestly, a lot of these comics, they spend a lot of time doing the layout, and sometimes you'll have like two full page spreads.
Yeah,
Like just the way the panels interlock and play off of each other is artistically, nice to look at. That's the whole point of it being, in this format. And so, like, the zooming in on the text bubbles, I mean, it can make it easier to read if you're on a cell phone. Because I'll be honest, trying to read comics on a cell phone is pretty
miserable.
miserable because it's really fucking tiny. But that's why I bought a tablet, and even with that smart panel. I've found myself only having my phone, and I'll do the smart panel thing, and about halfway through the issue, it feels like I'm walking around life, with blinders on, like only able to look at a tiny little bit at a time, and it's like almost,
Tunnel vision.
yeah, it's almost like claustrophobic. It's like, okay, this is like I can't see the whole page. This is weird, and I
You're
back out
weird.
of it, and I wait till I can read it, full page at a time. So, I mean, if they found a way to do it better,
Yeah,
then
I'm interested to find
I'll
out more
take a
about it.
look. But anything that kind of takes you away from the full page, I haven't been a fan of so far.
Maybe it'll be something to where you see the full page, but then it blows the bubble up and then
And,
replaces it or something. I don't know. I mean, we'll have to
and
see.
and they've done that for full page spreads in Marvel Unlimited and stuff before. So like, but I've also found sometimes that another big problem with these is somebody has to actually go through and break those up into panels and like program the flow there as you go through the
Yeah,
comic. Like,
and sometimes it doesn't
so I
match.
I found some older comics in here that I tried to read that way, and it seemed like they skipped something. And I was like, wait, what? And I backed out to the full page view because I was lost. And I'm like, oh, it skipped a panel or it did these out of order. And then I was like, okay, I can't trust this anymore. And that was another reason why I was like, nope, not doing it.
Yeah. Let's see. Next bit of news: Justice Society of America has been confirmed to be in the next season of Legends of Tomorrow. I mean, do you guys have a feeling on this? Like, I never read Justice Society of America.
It's cool that they're finally doing something interesting. I mean, I watched only 3 episodes and got bored of it, but I'll watch that episode. But what would make it cooler, which I don't see them doing, is if Alan Scott's going to be in there. That Jay Garrick's not going to be a part of the Justice Society because he's already was flopping around Flash. Even though I'm not positive, but if anybody heard this also, that he's going to be a recurring character on the show, maybe not full time, but
On Flash?
on Flash. So maybe he will be a part of it. Maybe wherever he came from was from the world with the JSA.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
they
mean, I'll
didn't
give
really
it a
mention. They didn't really mention any other members in.
They said Sandman. I know they said it during the year.
Well,
They said Sandman will be on
supposedly
there.
they've teased at quite a few. As I was reading about this, apparently they've teased it Hourman, Sandman, Red Tornado, Dr. Midnight, and Dr. Fate.
Well, I don't know about the whole Red Tornado thing because he wasn't part of the JSA and he already popped up on Supergirl. Unless, like the JSA, they will make
But
part
we had a
of Supergirl's world.
we had a Supergirl Flash crossover, so it seems to be reasonable that if he popped up in Supergirl, he could potentially pop up in Flash. I mean, that could be the tie that you need right there.
Maybe the JSA was part of Supergirl's world.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm not familiar with Justice Society of America.
The Red Tornado in Supergirl was a villain. Was like a minor villain, and it was like a
He was a villain?
yeah.
I never watched it, but I don't know. I mean, the JSA was the precursor to Justice League in the comic books back in the Golden Age, was it?
Would have to be, yeah.
That the first age of Heroes, the Golden Age. But I don't know. I'll give it a watch to see how they do it. It's pretty cool.
Speaking of Flash, there's some rumors circulating about Flash Season 3 that we actually kind of touched on this as a possibility, but we didn't think that it was going to happen.
Super movie?
Well, they're rumoring, there is a rumor going around, rather, that Aquaman will be in Flash Season 3 for Flashpoint.
Yeah.
So I mean that would make sense. Like if they're planning on doing, because that was our biggest thing with thinking that they weren't going to do a Flashpoint, is the fact that we had no Aquaman, we had no Wonder Woman, we had no war between the two. Well, if they're going to bring Aquaman in, that could be what we're looking at.
I mean, that same article says like you'll see him in kind of like a background or something, a backdrop. That same article is kind of interesting. I think it says something that the movie TV show relationship about how they could use characters is pretty loose. And reading that, you think, okay, if it's pretty loose, then why'd they kill off all of the Suicide Squad and Arrow, or at least most of them? So, that's interesting, because there's also another article that read that, which I found interesting, that they're looking to bring Barbara Gordon in her Oracle role and Batwoman into Supergirl.
Whoa.
Which would be I mean, I don't watch Supergirl, but, I'll check out the
Are they going to
episode
do
if
just
they
like
do.
I mean, yeah, that would be interesting.
And they were thinking of, Supergirl already has a Superman that they announced maybe a few months ago.
Yeah.
And they said, they're looking to bring a Batman, but, with Fox having Gotham, they don't know how to work that out, because that would be like, you have a Batman, then you have this Bruce Wayne. Yeah. So, I guess we'll see and tell when these seasons start coming up.
What do you think, Topher?
I think it's an awesome time to be alive.
Isn't it? I mean,
Like all this shit. Like
it's incredible.
I love all these shows.
Did
like
you
all
ever
these
think we
shows.
would be at
I
this
watch
point?
all of these, and like there for a while, I felt like a few years ago, I was just like, you know what? I'm so over TV. There's like nothing good to watch anymore. It's all shit. Like reality TV had taken over. It was just fucking terrible. And like,
You mean you don't watch Naked and Afraid?
No.
I don't even know what that is. So no, I don't. But yeah, like, and now, like, oh my god, like I'm not current on anything because there's too much
way
shit to
too
watch.
much, yeah.
I'm so far behind because there's so much good shit I want to watch. Like,
I'm so far behind.
it's nuts. Like, there's just so much nerd culture to take in and absorb these days. It's almost like overload. But I mean, it's awesome that these things that were kind of fringe interests for a lot of people for so long are now like they're the
mainstream, 100% mainstream now.
With when technology proliferates, the fare of the nerds becomes pop culture.
Seriously,
it's unbelievable to me.
Especially, I stopped. I didn't want to cut you off.
I was gonna say,
you both stopped at the same time.
I was gonna say it's unbelievable to me that all these things that growing up, I'm not gonna say that people were looked down upon, but they certainly weren't like.
Oh, they were stuff that would get you beaten up on the playground for.
Yeah, for sure. And now it rules the box office in the theaters. It's ruling on-demand television on Netflix. It's ruling
Who rules the world? Nerds.
Television on regular television.
Well played, sir.
I mean, it's everywhere. Literally, you go to Walmart, you go to Target, you go to Meijer, you go to any superstore, any grocery store, anywhere. You can't go into pretty much any retail location and not see something comic book related. I don't care if it's even a fucking auto parts store, you will probably see some reference to something that is
they sell Superman, Batman, Harley Quinn, window stickers.
Exactly. It is
for your car.
Everywhere now. It used to be something that you had to go to the dimly lit comic book store that was shunned off in the corner of town that was only open for a few hours each day because
there was a little viewing booth in the corner that they'd have to squeegee off when we were done. No. Oh wait, wrong store.
Wrong magazine store.
Dimly lit store with magazines. Oh yes. Shit! I'm sorry. My bad. Go on.
But the comic book stores for a long time were not places. Many of them could not sustain a business by selling only comics. So you would have these hybrid stores called hobby shops that would have comic books, they would have card games, they would have miniature model games, they would have models, like the snap together models of cars, they would have just an amalgamation of all these different potential hobbies in one location. Now you have legitimate comic book stores all over the place. I mean, within 10-15 minute drive from where Topher, the area where Topher and I live, you could probably get to 5 or 6 different comic book stores. I would say that's pretty reasonable amount. You start including other stores that also sell comic books, like bookstores and things like that, the number's well over a dozen. It's unbelievable. For sure, it's the best time in history to be a nerd.
Those dedicated comic book stores, though, don't rake in money hand over fist by any means. So
they don't. They don't. They're not. But
but just as a note, go support your local comic book stores if you want to keep it that way, and you like the fact that they're there. Go buy some shit from them.
Mm-hmm.
Stop reading porn and pick up a comic book.
No, you don't have to. You can take a break from reading porn to pick up a comic book.
You can always come back to it, though.
Or you can use the shittier comic books to wipe up after, like whatever.
Yeah.
But just go buy one. I don't care what you do with it afterwards.
Like that one Hulk. What's that Hulk title that I can't ever remember or care about?
It's really awesome.
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
The one that you lost a bet.
Yeah, that'd be a perfect come
supposed to you're supposed to read and give us a review on? That one?
Yep, that one.
Yep.
That's the one.
But also
Uh,
with all that, Marvel had a lot of TV show announcements this
Yep.
week too.
Yep, and that's exactly where we're moving into now.
Transition.
Luke, how about the Luke Cage trailer?
Awesome.
Really? You liked it?
Oh yeah.
I thought it looked stupid as hell.
I thought I mean,
There was
I
nothing
thought-
to me. There was nothing about it that looked interesting.
well, that shows no story. It just shows action.
It doesn't even show good action though. Like it just.
What
What
do you want him to fight? Ninjas?
I'm just saying, like it just didn't. It just looked like if all the fight scenes are going to be him just basically walking into a like storm of bullets and punching people into walls, like that just doesn't. I mean, there's not that much interesting about that. Like he's obviously overpowered compared to his opponents in that clip, at least. Like in that trailer, so like
which is pretty interesting to me because it was a full-length trailer, but it had you don't really know what's going on. You had the fucking old dude from Banshee.
Does he have healing powers, by the way? What's his deal?
His strong.
He's as unbreakable skin, super strength, and he does have accelerated healing.
If he has unbreakable skin, then why did the bullets go through a car door and through him? Because you see bullet holes on his chest and back.
I don't know, because his whole thing is supposed to be
he's walking through them. It didn't go through him. You see no blood.
Well, he's walking towards the gun, and there's bullet holes on his back.
Well, I mean, it's not the full.
I mean, unless they've got these new fucking bullets that are like boomerangs, then, which I'm gonna say would be a bad idea.
Doug. You gotta think a little bit. You think that they're not showing us the whole full scene? I mean,
I understand.
There's guys in the rest of the clip.
Well, I know, but at the beginning of the beginning of the clip, he doesn't have bullet holes in his back, and in the middle of the clip, he does have bullet holes in his back, and at no point was he facing away from the people.
The whole scene's chopped up, so they don't give you the full action.
Well, maybe that's. I mean, maybe I hope that that's the case because, to be perfectly honest, nothing about that teaser trailer made me want to watch that show. There's too many other, like Topher said, there's so many other options out there that ranks well out of the spectrum of I need to spend time watching this.
Oh no, that wasn't my end game. My point was that I want to watch them all.
Well, yeah, I mean,
seriously.
Yeah, obviously, in a perfect world, I would love to have the time to sit down and watch all of them, every episode of every show. But that's just not real. Like, that's not gonna happen. And there's so many options that you have to.
Not with that attitude.
Well, I'm just saying, like that's the reason why you're not caught up. Because there's only a certain amount of time.
That's a fair point. You're not wrong.
So, that being said, like, there's other shows that I'm going to spend my time watching first, and that trailer itself, just judged on that trailer alone, that puts this show so far buried on the list that I probably won't even watch it at all. Maybe someday down the road if there's literally nothing else, but I don't know. It just didn't. It didn't really drum up interest, you know? It was like the polar opposite of The Walking Dead. I would go watch Walking Dead season 7, even though I'm like 2 seasons behind, based on their trailer sooner than I would based on Luke Cage's trailer. Did you see the trailer, Topher?
I didn't watch it because I haven't watched. Like, I'm really fucking bad. Like, it occurs to me that I still haven't watched Jessica Jones, and that came out almost a fucking year ago. So I'm just bad at this apparently. I didn't watch it because I wasn't sure if it was gonna give away anything from those from the series that I haven't seen yet. But I'll watch it. I'll watch it for next week.
Okay, Brian, you liked it. You're all about it, huh?
Those Netflix shows never let you down.
Okay, what
But
about
like, I'm opposite of you guys. I don't like Supergirl or Legends of Tomorrow. I mean, my point, I liked it. I thought the action was pretty cool, knowing who, what Luke Cage is about. But it does, like, if you don't know Luke Cage or don't know what this show is going to be about, besides seeing him in Jessica Jones, it wouldn't tell you anything. There's no, like, you don't. All it is him walking into
a gunfight?
like a building, beating up thugs, and smashing a gate. It doesn't tell you what the season's going to be about. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty sure we got a little bit of story from like the Daredevil trailers and the Jessica Jones trailers. I mean, so if you don't know Luke Cage, you're not going to really get it. That's the only thing I see a problem with. But I like the action.
Now, what about?
I know Luke Cage is like a thug and stuff like that.
Now, what about the Iron Fist teaser? I personally thought this was more interesting than the full Luke Cage trailer, and there was less in the Iron Fist trailer.
This gave you more of a story. You understand that when he was younger, he was a plane crash. He was obviously found by monks. So, and then, obviously he's far off from where he lived. You see him return home. Basically, he shows up on the streets with no shoes on. Who's going to walk around in the city with no shoes on? And then he's somehow locked up in a crazy bin, and he breaks out by punching it. So you assume those monks trained him in something. And you could get that from not even knowing who Iron Fist is.
Right, and that's what I think they did a better job on that teaser in particular. There was I don't even know that there was any words even spoken in that trailer or in that teaser.
I think his much shorter. Something.
It was much shorter than the Luke Cage trailer. It did a better job of drumming up interest and highlighting kind of what the character himself is about than the Luke Cage trailer did. I just think they missed the mark on the Luke Cage thing. But another note about the Iron Fist is that Joe Quesada has said that this series, the Iron Fist series on Netflix, is going to have more villains than any other Netflix Marvel show. So I think that's a cool thing too. They're going to really introduce a variety of villains into this series, which, as we all know, that's really kind of what makes shows great, is the adversity. That's what makes a character shine. Without adversity, there really can't be a good hero. So
I really can't wait to see him use the Iron Fist.
Topher, you clearly just watched something.
I just watched the Luke Cage trailer.
Okay, and what do you think about it?
I thought it was pretty badass. I liked it. It's a teaser trailer. Like, they're not giving away a plot. It's just they wanted to show his power. What his powers were, who he was. And I think they accomplished that. They're like, you could shoot this dude a bunch of times and he doesn't die. That's kind of what it boils down to. And honestly, I didn't see bullets go through him. I saw a bunch of holes in his hoodie.
Yeah, I didn't see them go. I didn't see go through him, but I don't know. To me, and again, when I watched it at first, it didn't really pose an issue to me. But when you said he's got unbreakable skin, I was like, that's really weird. I remember seeing bullet holes in his back. And it was just, I
didn't notice that.
Topher, what did you think of the song mixing in with the trailer?
I thought it was pretty cool.
I like the song.
That was my favorite part.
I did like the song.
They're clearly going for a different vibe. I thought it was great. I liked it. I'm excited about it because they're trying to show, it's obviously a different take from Daredevil, but it fits right in that world. And they didn't talk about who the villain is. They didn't go on some, they didn't talk about what his quest was going to be, some long crusade or whatever. It was just a teaser. It showed him walk through one building, and sure, that was a fight scene, and but they're going to switch that up. It's not going to be all him just ripping doors off cars and charging down a hallway getting shot. There's going to be more to it than that. But like one scene of that is fine for a trailer.
That being said, we might as well move on to the next or last, and at least for this conversation, Netflix trailer. The Marvel Defenders teaser trailer was released. Thought it was. My problem with this one specifically is this is like not even a sizzle reel. This is like there was no pictures of any of the Defenders. There was no dialogue of any of the Defenders. It was, I mean, literally zero visuals of what we can come to expect. I don't understand how this would even classify as a teaser. I mean, it was.
They did the same thing with one of the Avengers movie where I think it was Age of Ultron, where there was very little dialogue and it comes together and it's Ultron's face. And I think they did it to
that
the
would have made
first
more
Avengers too.
something like that would have made more sense. This was like a bunch of pieces of paper being torn off, and then all of a sudden you see like a handprint that says "defend," and then you hear some guy voiceover saying something like
Stick. Yeah, you hear
think
Stick.
you think you guys can change the city or save the city, but you can't save yourselves, or something to that effect. And then that's it. That's literally all of it. And it's like, what are you even fucking teasing? Like, to the average person, I get it. This is obviously targeted at people that
It
are
wasn't
going to
made for
San
the
Diego
average
Comic-Con.
person. It was made for the people in Hall H at Comic-Con that they could put that up and show like a mysterious trailer that doesn't show a damn thing, but that everybody's gonna get super fucking excited about and cheer about, and leads them into whatever panel discussion they were gonna have. I mean, like we're kind of watching this a little out of
Context.
yeah, exactly. Thank you. So I mean, like, they're not ready for a trailer for it. They haven't started filming it yet. Like, what are they going to fucking show?
It's basically just showing you it's coming, just like what they did for the Daredevil season 3 to show you it's coming. All it was like a subway sign, and like the lights are flickering, and then they go off and on for fast, and you see the number 3 all the 3, like as in it's a subway number, all bloodied up. Like it had 1, 2, and then the lights flicker on and off longer, and then it pops up in 3s there, all bloody.
For me, I like it for no other reason than like it's just a reminder that this is all building up to something. You know, that there's a plan in place, that they're going somewhere, that there's something bigger going on here. It's all leading up to something rather than just aimlessly like, oh, here, have another season of something. The fact that like. They're like it's gonna get better. Like that kind of builds the excitement for me, even if they didn't actually show me or tell me anything.
I mean, it's basically, I'm not sure if this is why they do it, but like people after watching so much shit, sometimes you forget about things, and this is kind of a reminder. Hey, this is coming. It's not to show you stuff, show it off. It's just to remind you, keep it fresh in your head, so it doesn't die.
Yeah, no, I get that. Now, one thing that was released that I don't even watch this show, and I thought this was exciting, and this might actually be the straw that breaks the camel's back and gets me to watch the show. There was a teaser trailer for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4 featuring Ghost Rider. I think that this looks badass. I think that's exciting. I don't know what he's visually going to look like, but in the teaser trailer, you see a flaming skull, and you see a chain that's on fire. It looked pretty fucking awesome. Did either of you guys take a look at this?
Yeah,
I saw it exists. I didn't see any video or anything.
I watched it. It's pretty misleading because if nobody's familiar with the character, the Ghost Rider character they're actually using, it's a younger kid, and his name is Robbie Reyes, who was, latched on to the spirit of vengeance. He is not the normal Johnny Blaze we're used to, not the normal Danny Ketch from the 90s. He's a younger Spanish dude who drives I believe it's a GTO. They revealed the GTO at it was sitting in front of the Marvel booth, and they revealed it after the panel. He doesn't necessarily have a flaming skull like the other two previous Ghost Riders has. His flaming skull almost looks like a helmet, like he's wearing some kind of racing helmet. I don't know if you could see that. That's clear in view, but he kind of looks like that, which is, I'm kind of up in the air about it. I don't watch Shield anymore, but I'll check him out.
Also, actor Gabriel Luna who has been cast to play Ghost Rider.
So I'm not sure, how they're actually gonna do it, because, they show you the skull like it's the normal Ghost Rider everybody knows. That's synonymous by, the early comics, by the Nick Cage movies. It's interesting why they chose to use Ghost Rider once they got the rights back to this. I mean, maybe it's still using Robbie Reyes still leaves the door open for a Danny Ketch or Johnny Blaze movie or Netflix show. I mean, I'm kind of like half and half split down the middle on it.
I don't know. I think it's exciting. I'm excited to see what they do with it. This might be the reason for me to start watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think that this could be really interesting. Topher, you said you saw that this was out there, but
I didn't watch. Was there a trailer video or something?
It was like a sizzle reel. It was like really short teaser kind of thing.
It's the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. logo. It goes up in fire and then bursts, and then the Ghost Rider skull comes out it.
And then you see chains in front of the S.H.I.E.L.D. logo.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I've seen. Yeah, I don't know. I've still been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I haven't finished the second half of this past season, but up until the point where I'm at in the season, like it was probably the best season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. yet. Like hands down, like it was actually really compelling. I enjoyed it. It was good. They were doing a lot of good stuff with it. But it's been very light on. Well, I guess, now with the, they've been doing a little bit more with the Inhumans, and so there are more people with powers on the show, and they have been doing some special effects here and there. But I don't, tonally, I just feel like Ghost Rider is kind of dark, Ghost Rider is very, it's a very grim thing. And
a vengeance.
Yeah, and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show they've tried to not go that dark. They've tried to keep things a little light. Like there have been some serious moments. There have been some.
Well, some part of the first season was kind of dark. Finding out that Coulson had his fucking head opened up and.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. There's been a lot of. I don't know. Like I guess. I don't have a good way to explain it other than. You know how like some TV shows on network TV, and let me specify before someone corrects me, on network TV, I'm talking about major networks, like the big four, CBS, ABC, NBC, Fox, like those kind of networks tend to have their shows like fit a certain profile, like you watch a show on those, and it's going to have a different feel than if you were watching it on CW or on something like every network has like it's kind of and like the more cable-y networks.
Sons of Anarchy was on like FX. That's a network.
FX.
That's a
right.
network.
I mean, and those are all networks. Like, but when I say network TV, I'm talking about like the big networks, the ones that are like on not
Fox,
cable.
CBS,
NBC. The ones that you get on your antenna. If antennas were still a thing. Like when I talk like network versus cable. Like we're old now, so we have to, clear it up for these youngsters. Before cable and all this internet TV shit, you only got the stuff that came over the antenna, and that shit was the local network affiliates. And I guess there's probably no local network affiliate for CW, but most people never watched CW until cable existed. So when I say network TV, I mean Fox, ABC, CBS, and NBC. So anyway, the shows on those networks, like, they just feel a little campier. They feel a little more mass marketed, a little more, common denominator friendly, like, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. still has that feel sometimes, like, they're pandering to the general populace and not necessarily the target audience of their show.
Right.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but if you watch Arrow and then you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's a very different feel.
Yeah,
you could not put Arrow in an 8 o'clock time slot on Tuesday night, on ABC, and have people be like, oh yeah, this is really good, but you do that with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and people are like, okay, I'll watch this. Like, there's just, something about it. And so, like, it's weird because it's hard for me to picture how Ghost Rider fits into that. That being said, as a fan of the show, if they could pull it off, like, that's super fucking exciting. That's the Ghost Rider of the show, with his flaming car and his helmet.
Awesome.
But I mean, it's still on fire. So I mean, like, it's always been interesting trying to do fire special effects on people on fire on TV. That's normally a bigger budget thing, and it's hard to not make it look
shitty,
cheap and shitty. So I think they've got their work cut out for them to do this justice. But if they can, man, I'm looking forward to it.
God, I hope they don't make him an Inhuman. When Doctor Strange coming in, they use fucking the Spirit of Vengeance.
Yeah.
WB Animation has announced a Batman and Harley Quinn movie for 2017.
Oh, they announced three movies.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I just saw another one just now. But to add to that, not only is it Batman and Harley Quinn, it's Teen Titans, the Judas Contract, Justice League Dark.
Okay. I'm not surprised about the Batman Harley Quinn specifically because of the success and popularity that I'm expecting from Suicide Squad. I think the Suicide Squad movie is going to do really well, and Harley Quinn merchandise already, the movie hasn't even released, but is already killing it in the marketplace.
Yeah, I bought myself a pair of Harley Quinn booty shorts.
I believe it. You probably have the pudding necklace too, don't you?
Yeah.
Yep. And I have the wristband.
But I mean, there's Harley Quinn shit everywhere already, and the movie's not even out yet. It's not a surprise to me at all that we're going to see that. And then, oh, nice. And then with the
really,
with
you sleep with it at night.
That's hilarious. That's with good. I don't even. I lost my train of thought after that stuffed animal.
Chris's Joker goes, "Can't wait to show you all my sex toys."
No, one of these subscription boxes, Nerd Block, just got it yesterday, and it's got a little Harley Quinn Suicide Squad pop keychain in there and a Joker little plushie that's kind of frankly disturbing to look at, and I might just have to shove him in a drawer because I don't know that I can deal with that.
Can you see him getting up at night and walking across your bed?
He's a little creepy. He's real creepy, actually. On that note, that's going to do it for this episode of Comic Book Nerd Nation. I'm sure we're going to have a ton more San Diego Comic-Con related news next episode. And then sometime soon we'll be talking with Sean Forney. Got to get in touch with him once he gets back into town. And yeah, that's about it for this week. I'm Fox2. We got Topher.
Speaking of DC animation, you going to go see The Killing Joke Monday or Tuesday night?
I probably won't, but I'm going to buy it as soon as it's available.
I've got tickets. I'm
Nice.
going Monday.
And the whole effing Brian.
Spaghetti.